Hey, everybody. Hi, Lucas.
Hello, Honoree. I feel as if we have been apart for so long. It's been
8 minutes.
Probably,
6
roughly.
minutes, roughly.
Roughly 8 minutes.
Well, do you see what I'm drinking out of?
I do. A little jelly.
Do
I
you
gotta
see the
wait.
inside and the handle?
Well, I saw the blue
Mm-hmm.
on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing something? The tea? Is there anything else in the cup with tea?
No, the red. So it's
Oh,
red
yeah.
and blue. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then you don't have this yet, but you will. Look at that.
Oh, girl.
What does
that mean? That is the
Whatever
Empire.
does that mean?
The Empire
Yeah,
Builders
so that means that
Masterclass.
our Empire Builders Mastermind starts next week. Kicks off officially. The new class of 2024 is coming in hot.
If you guys aren't familiar, this is the Empire Builders Mastermind is Honoree's premier mastermind. It's her favoriteest thing in the world.
I think it is neck and neck with handing one of my bespoke book clients the first copy of their book.
Yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah, or sending it to them.
What a cool moment that is when you get your first book.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's nothing like that moment. And I have not forgotten next year will be 20 years. 2024 will be 20 years since I published my first book. And I was alone. When I got my first copies of my first book and looked at them and they're really nice and closed the box and went and sat down and watched a little TV, surreal. Put the kid to bed, and then got up and was wishing that I had given it more emphasis on the right syllable, right? And there's Renee. Hello, Renee. Good morning, Renee.
Hey, Renee. Ooh, I have to
What's
make
for
sure.
lunch, Renee? I haven't had anything to eat yet. I've only had my workout and work. So what are we eating while you're watching?
Feed us, Renee.
Yeah.
Good morning, friends.
Yeah.
Good morning.
So we're going to talk about
morning show.
Oh, I'm not alone anymore. That is for sure. That is for sure. Yes, my days of celebrating alone are over. Thankfully, yes. Oh, beef sticks and wedding soup sounds like a solid choice.
I'm absolutely 100% on board with the beef sticks and wedding soup plan.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's Wayne in Egypt. Hi, Wayne.
Hello, Wayne.
I love the camels. They make me happy. Wayne, I feel like when you publish books, please have on the spine, hold on, like Lucas has his logo right here, right? Like right here. I feel like yours needs to be a camel.
A little camel emoji.
A little camel logo for the publishing company. I feel like that's how we would know that it's you. And you might be going, heck to the no. Or as my daughter would say, HE double hockey sticks.
Yes.
So anyway, we are going to talk about ending your year strong.
Yes.
And then crushing 2024. But before we get into that, Lucas, what's going on? How are you? Did we have a live last week? What were we doing?
I don't know where I was last
Oh,
week.
Thanksgiving. Okay, I was like, we weren't together last week, but what was happening? Oh, right about this time, I was really hungry, as I am right now. So there's a theme. But at this time, 1 week ago, Byron was getting ready to fry the turkey.
You had fried turkey?
Fried turkey.
So we had fried turkey as well, but we buy our fried turkey.
From where can you buy a fried turkey?
Well, anyone that's listening to this or watching this, if you are in the Williamsburg area, lock this little nugget away, because this is like a local, like, you're getting the inside scoop. So the best barbecue place in all of James City County, thank God, is 5 minutes from my house. It's called Two Drummers Smokehouse, and it's kind of off the path. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's not like in Williamsburg, like downtown. It's not even like you have to go 20 minutes from downtown to get to it, and it's the best barbecue joint in the area. So on Thanksgiving every year, they shut the restaurant down and do nothing but come pick up your catering order kind of work.
Okay, so they're frying turkey after turkey after turkey after turkey after turkey. Okay,
so we
so you might
pre-ordered
have had a pretty good turkey. Still inferior to.
Yeah, I wasn't there
Byron.
to pull it out of the fryer and eat it right there. Right, that's a big difference.
I posted a video on my Instagram of Byron slicing the turkey.
It's so juicy when it's fresh.
And it was so good. It was so good. His fried turkey is so good. And for people who are watching this and going, I don't understand, what is this fried turkey you speak of? Because that was me.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we were set up on a blind date, and the person who introduced us was saying, oh, and he fries turkey. And I was like, fries turkey? I'm on a program where I don't need anything fried. I don't know what you are talking about. That sounds
I'm not
awful.
frying your turkey. I
am not eating that. Right? Exactly. I know it's butterball in the oven for 5 hours with regular basting, right? Like, no. And then I had it. I mean, it's just next level. It makes every turkey that you've ever had that is not fried, even if you think it's good, you're like, oh, this turkey's delicious. It's moist. It's delicious. All the things. No, it's inferior. It's not as good.
It's crazy.
I will die on this hill to do this. But at where we go to our neighbors. We share Thanksgiving with our neighbors because they've become like family to us. And they invite a bunch of people over. And the kids were always like, we don't like turkey. We like ham. And then Uncle Byron rolls in with the fried turkey. And now the little kids like sit on the edge of the counter and they're like, the turkey is being sliced. It's almost ready. It's very, very sweet, very cute. But like the kids that were like, no, we hate turkey. Turkey's awful. These are the same kids that are like, we're kids. We go first, right?
Right.
Yeah. Kids go to the front of the line and then they come back for seconds. So anyway, so this time 1 week ago, I was prepping for fried turkey and pie, and that's something you and I have in common.
Yes.
That we love the pumpkin pie.
Big fan. Huge fan of pumpkin pie.
And so we had different Mrs. Claus made pumpkin pie. And I broke my no pumpkin pie except on Thanksgiving rule when she showed up for family dinner the Sunday before with pumpkin pie. She did ask. She was very sweet. She asked me if it was too early, and I was like, well, no, I think I'm still burning it off. I think I'm still burning off all the pie that I ate on Sunday, on Thursday, on Friday. And then I was like, okay, we have to be done. I broke my rule. So now I'm, paying the piper for breaking the rule. But
we had a lot of food.
Yeah. There was so much food.
And it doesn't help that my birthday is this close to Thanksgiving every year. It's like some years it's on Thanksgiving and I get away with murder. I'm like, okay, we can do all of this at once, which is cool. But then some years it's a week apart and I'm like, oh God, we're going to eat for forever. Right. So have that. And then like 2 days later, we had like all the Carvel ice cream cake and the things. And I'm just like eating and I'm gluttonous. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. So like after a couple of days, I was just ready to fall over.
I did a 40-hour fast.
Yeah, I have not done that.
I just stopped everything in its tracks. I was like, okay, we're done.
Yeah. After Thanksgiving, you did a 40-hour fast?
I did. Okay. On starting Saturday night. Saturday night, we went to, I don't know. We did something. Sunday, we went to I was fasting and we went to a pop-up bar in Nashville for a Christmas story.
Nice.
And it was cool. They had like the Chinese menu. So they were only serving Chinese food. And I was like, oh, praise the Lord, I'm fasting because this is like another slippery slope, right? So you'd have your, Thanksgiving, birthday, and then Chinese food.
Yeah.
Which is, I think they had noodles, egg rolls, and fried rice. Duck fried rice. And so it would have just been a dumpster fire of a caloric weekend. So I had to stop it. I was like, I'm fasting, not eating again until Monday at lunch. I did it. It was great. It was a great idea. It was a nice little reset.
Excellent.
It's also a mind game to be able to not eat. Yeah.
It absolutely is. Sleep deprivation and fasting are two things that are totally a head game.
Mind over matter. It's like, just have another bottle of water.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same as something delicious. It is not.
I was just talking with a friend of mine last week over dinner. They're very good friends of ours. He works for the government doing things, and we were laughing about our time with sleep deprivation training and how unbelievably crazy that gets. And just to see people's faces when they're in the middle of it, it's great.
Listen, sleep deprivation for me is not meeting my is not getting my nap.
Oh, yeah. No.
Or staying up late. I mean, everyone makes fun of me. They're like, look, it's 9:30. She's still awake. We're so proud of you. I'm like, It's like, I'll call you. I'm going to call you at 4:30.
Yeah, in the morning.
a.m. when I'm up and like making life happen. I'm going to start bugging you like, oh, are you still sleeping? I'm so proud of you. Like, all right, go ahead. Make fun. Yeah,
that is not the same sleep deprivation. It's like 3-4 days with nothing, like zero sleep is something
but I don't know how you function. I understand. I guess there's training involved, and then we should talk about other things. But there has to. How do you train yourself to not sleep? When I get to a certain point where my brain just says, "And we're done. Don't talk to us."
You have to be fully removed from any semblance of normalcy. You can't do this in a normal place. Like you can't.
I don't understand what. I can't be in my regular routine. I have
cannot
to be
in your
on a ship in the middle of the med. Okay.
Or like in a training environment where you are just not stopping. You don't stop moving. You don't stop doing. You don't stop. The sun comes up.
Sure. I guess it's like someone who performs a 24-hour surgery. Like you just get into some kind of alternate universal zone or something. Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah, but I mean, you're part of the alternate mindset is the fact that you can't think right. It's like what you are is you're experiencing this craziness and your head is fully in it. I mean, I remember staring at the back of someone's head and I'm just like somewhere else, like off in La La Land, but it's really hard to fall asleep when you're standing up and people were doing it.
Is that why you burn the girls and kill the mother? And is that why you're so violent in your fiction writing? Like, because you had this training? I'm just really concerned.
No. I was weird before that.
Okay.
Independent. There's just enhanced experiences.
Perfect.
But it is really interesting to see what you're capable of. Your boundaries are nowhere near where you think they are.
Yeah. Oh, well, that I believe. We need to have a conversation about that. Write that down. We'll have a conversation about what's possible. We can talk about our year in review in a future live.
Yeah. Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hello, Jen.
Because I kind of set out with the intention to see what was possible in 2023, and
you did.
I did.
That is not just a thing that she's saying. Like she sent emails out and like we had conversations. She's like, "This is what I'm doing." Crazy enough?
Well, I do believe that Holly's response to me was, "You crazy."
Yeah.
Not you are crazy or you _RE, you're the contraction for your crazy. It was you crazy. Yeah.
I think my response was I was a total enabler. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you can totally do it.
You should totally try that.
Give it a shot. See if you die.
See how this works out.
But did you die? Yeah.
Did you die? So we've got Renee saying hello to Jen. And
yes, we
Renee
do.
is on YouTube and Jen is on Facebook. So they may not be able to see each other's comments.
Oh.
So I'm
sharing we have all the watchers. That's amazing. So hi, Jen. Hi, Renee. Hi, Wayne. This is very cool. If you haven't said hello, say hello. Jen, remind Karen that we're live so she can come on and we can talk to her.
Talk to Karen.
So what are you reading right now?
Oh my gosh, I did something crazy. So this is something, if you guys are interested in
Really?
experiencing this.
You?
Yeah. So,
What?
with books, imagine that. So
Oh my gosh. No, I can't believe it.
this is a fun book thing. If you're a reader, I love serial fiction. I love writing and publishing serial fiction, but I also love seeing other people's serial fiction. And if you want to see
Yeah.
the underbelly of like people just
Yeah.
experimenting with some fun stuff, go check out some serial fiction on platforms like Vella, which is Kindle Vella, right? Which is owned by Amazon. For those that aren't familiar, if you have a Kindle app on your phone, at the top, there's like a little block that says Vella. If you're like wondering what that is, it's short stories or serials. And I've jumped into these Facebook groups for Vella authors and readers. And I've been doing these exchanges where like you post your stuff, people find your stuff, they read your stuff, you go find other people. And I've been like in this world of Vella reading for probably a week and a half now, where I've almost been exclusively reading serial fiction on Vella. And it's wild because I'm reading things I wouldn't normally read, like just to push the boundaries a little bit, some fantasy stuff, some mystery stuff.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating to me to see how many people are out there creating all this fun fiction.
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit like Wild West still. So
nice.
So I've read literally probably 5 books worth of content in the last week and a half just on Vella. And then I'm reading one of Kat Silva's books, because she has a whole series.
I know you're a
called
big fan of hers.
Yeah. So I've been reading some of that.
Nice.
How about you? What have you been reading?
So I started reading Fourth Wing.
Oh, you told me about this.
Which is by, hold please while I check this for us.
We got to get some music.
Rebecca Yarros. And it's fantasy, which is not my jam, but it was recommended to me by J.T. Ellison, who is one of my favorite thriller writers. And I was like, it's not my jam. And she's like, yeah, but you have to make an exception when it's a book or an author that everyone is talking about. So I guess this gal came from out of nowhere. By the way, she's married to someone in the military.
Oh.
Yeah. So Rebecca is a military wife. Well, but thank you, Mr. Yarros, assuming that's a real person, if that's not a pen name, for your service. So I've been listening to the audiobook. So I read the first couple of chapters. I borrowed a sample because I wasn't convinced. And then I was like, okay, well, your good friends are not going to lead you down the wrong path, right? They're going to tell you what's what and give you good advice. You got to listen. So I listened, I started reading. I haven't had as much time to read because it's a really busy time of year for me right now. I just have a couple of things happening.
Next week.
So that is the next week. That is the fiction thing that I'm reading. Then I saw that one of the people that I really admire and has 2 books out, Ryan Serhant, he wrote Sell It Like Serhant and Big Money Energy, which are 2 of my favorite books. And I reread them a couple of times a year each because they're just really good content. I saw that he had a new book coming out in February called Brand It Like Serhant. And so I'm a member of NetGalley, which is where you can get advanced copies of books. And so I was like, I wonder if it's on NetGalley. And it was, and I requested it and they said, yes. Yes.
So is it a straight up ARC?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, here's a book.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Digital. So I'm reading it right now. Every spare minute. It's super good. Super, super good. So a shout out to NetGalley for advanced copies of books. If you want to get advanced copies of books and you're willing to review them and promote them and talk about them on social media, which obviously I'm doing that in advance of the publication of the book. And we will circle back when the book comes out because I had already pre-ordered the audiobook and then was like, oh man, I'd really love to get my hands on a copy of that. And then I'd see videos that he did and he'd have a copy of the book. And I'm like, oh, so rude. He already knows what it says. He doesn't need that on his desk. I need it on my desk. So then I was super happy a few days ago to get access to that. So those are my 2. Oh, and then I'm also reading when I cannot listen and my brain no longer works for nonfiction, I'm reading Michael Stagg's Swift Judgment. And you remember Michael, we hung out with the 20 books. Yeah,
Such a great guy.
Wonderful guy. And I'm actually now highlighting the phrases that he puts in his book. And so the one I'm quoting one of his characters. She's like one of his people. This is book 7 in the series. I really like this character. And she says, so stand there in a couple of days. Sloth is more contagious than smallpox. But I just love how he like develops the characters and has the character arc and those sorts of things. And so anyway, so those are the
legal
3
thrillers.
Things. Yeah, legal thrillers. So I'm listening to Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I'm reading the ARC copy of Brand It Like Sargent by Ryan Serhant, and I am reading
Michael Stagg.
What is this? Swift Judgment by Michael Stagg. They're all fabulous. And I have no time to read. I literally have no time to read. I'm literally like, oh, my tea is in the microwave for 90 seconds, and I'm reading like 3 or 4 pages.
Well, that's why I've been doing the Velas, to be honest. Like I had such a busy schedule the last week, plus being sick and all that I wanted to read quickly on my phone, and I could just read an episode and then come back later. Yeah. So, and they have completed books on there. They were written as serials, and then when they're done, they leave them up. So the whole book's there. So rather than have to go, find it. Whatever.
And Bella, from what I can tell, I've had limited time to kind of dig into the platform, but what I understand with Bella is that you can read the first couple of episodes of something, 3, before you pay.
That's right.
But once you get, you're kind of like, hit me again, right? Once you get to episode 4 or chapter 4, or however it's broken down, like then you pay, which is fantastic because it's a little bit of KDP, a little Kindle Unlimited, and a little bit of I'm going to pay for the book, right?
Right.
Yep. So I've read a couple of starters and been like, this doesn't really get me. But I have to say that when something gets me, I am the buy now button every day and twice on Sunday.
That's right.
Right. If something gets me, I'm like, oh man, did you really? Okay, fine.
Yeah. And I've met a handful of other authors that write in genres that I like to read. And I get updated as soon as they put a new episode out. It's like update. Yeah. And then you've got like, I keep they charge you tokens basically on Vela. Yeah. So I just go ahead and buy $10 worth of tokens at a shot. I'm like, give me the biggest one you can, it's give me 700 tokens.
And so how much is an episode of something? So if $10 buys you how many tokens?
It's by word count. So Vela automatically, they're the ones who assign the price to the episode. The author does not.
Okay.
So when you upload an episode, it scans your episode by length, basically by word count. And it says, this is how many tokens an episode of this length will cost based on their pricing.
So is it word count or quality of words? Like, are they doing some kind of an analysis of it? Like, what's happening?
I'm not sure if they go any deeper than word count, but it's definitely length driven. So if you have a short episode, it's going to be just a couple of tokens. But if it's a considerable episode, it could be, a couple of dozen tokens.
But so how many tokens does $10 buy you?
I think it's a couple hundred. It's either, this is going to sound terrible because I've done it twice and I can't remember the actual number, but it's either 400 or 700 for $10.
Oh, okay. So even if something is several tokens, you're still like, it's negligible.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't really.
Yep. I'm just buying, I'll throw $10 in the pot. Like it's nothing. I'm like, give me all those tokens. And then I just read.
It's like how much popcorn did you eat at the bowl?
Exactly.
I don't know how many pieces of popcorn, right? And then I'm just like shoving it in my face. Okay.
Yeah. So you could spend $10 on Vela and read your eyes out and have a really good time and discover authors. And a lot of authors connect their Vela stories to their author accounts.
To another series, right? Like to a series that they want people to get into. So like a prequel or okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, so it would be so fun. It'll be so fun to kind of dig into authors that are really successful, that are you have figured out an interesting way.
So T.W. Piperbrook for as far as like that type of, post-apocalyptic type stuff. He sells on Vella. I do Vella for it's like one of the many places I publish my serials while I'm developing a book. I put them on Vella, Ream, and on Substack. The big thing is, sir?
No, go.
I was going to say, the big thing is you have to have everything behind a paywall. You just can't give it away for free. You can have up to 5,000 words of that work for free somewhere as a sample, but you can't have it free on your website and then charge for it on Vella.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. And so T.W. Piperbrook is all horror?
Yeah, post-apocalyptic, zombie fiction, action, thriller, horror kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But not necessarily.
Well, I like to mention the genres of the people, right? So we have J.T. Ellison, who's thriller and fantasy, because she writes under, what is her pen name? Oh, JT, I'm sorry. Joss Walker, Joss Walker. Yeah. She has a brand new book that's out, and her husband, she was away. And so her husband did the unboxing, and it was hilarious. It's like, what do you do when you aren't in town and your box comes? Like, how do you, it's like, oh, well, I guess your husband does it. It was so awesome. Yeah. Her husband is awesome. And then we have Rebecca, Yarros, Ryan Serhant, T.W. Piperbrook, and Michael Stagg, right? So we'll put that links to them in the comments in case you're curious about
all the people.
Thrillers, legal thrillers, fantasy, or, the scary stuff.
I think it's fun to be able to like sample all the different things, and it's a lot of fun it's kind of like mixing up your diet a little bit,
Yeah.
So, but hey, like 2023, it's like almost done. Like it's December.
Yeah, we're coming in hot. Yeah, tomorrow's December. Well, but to be fair, it's 1/12 of the year.
That's it.
It's 1/12 of the year. So hold on, let me, because math is not my thing. It is.
Are you looking for a percentage?
It's 8.3% of your year. So you wouldn't just light 8% of your income or your productivity on fire because you need amusement or to warm your fingers. I think it's important to get, the most juice for your squeeze. So you might as well look at December as somewhat of an opportunity, even if you are like I am and you are taking off a nice significant amount of the month. I take off the last third to the last half of the month.
Right.
But there's still a lot of stuff that's going to happen in December.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's
still a lot that's going to happen. What are you going to accomplish before the end of the year, Lucas?
So by December 15th, I'll have this novel done, like written. It'll be I might have some edits still going on at that point, but my goal was to have the book finished by December 15th so that I can squeeze about a month and a half between the final word and the publication date. So I refuse to publish any sooner than 30 days after I'm done writing. People do it all the time.
I was going to ask you two questions. Like, what's the pub date? And is it up for pre-sale, or how are you kind of bringing it to the world? What's your launch strategy?
So I think it's fun, and it's also good for accountability to serial publish while I'm writing.
Yep.
So I write every week, and I send a file to the editor every week. Zach Bohannon edits the file, returns it, and I publish 3 episodes a week. So I've been writing the book and publishing the book for weeks. And what ends up happening is I get ahead of it about a month. So I'm actually ahead of the publication when I start. And then, so people can read it while that's happening. And if you don't like reading serial, which I get, 'cause some people just don't want serial fiction. They don't want to wait, right? It's like, I can buy all of Game of Thrones right now. Like, why should I just wait every week to watch it, right? So if you could buy the whole Game of Thrones series on day one, there's a lot of people that would have opted into that, which, Stephanie Bond and Tonya Kappes. People, they produce their book, they produce the serial, they give people options. So mine works a little in the inverse, where at the end, when the book is fully done, like when it's done being written, I have about a month and a half, no less than 2 weeks, no less than 2 weeks, where I make the full book available to people before it goes live. So before it goes like live,
you make it available to people. How?
Well, I have a publication date, and I have my own like subscription group. So if people want to read my book, and they want it before the rest of the world, they're more than happy to be a part of my
obviously we have to have the subscription link in the comments when we put this. Yeah, for sure. Because there are some people that are going to want to participate in that.
And I try to do it on a platform where the person's at. So I don't do it all on one platform. So like Vela will have the full book will be fully published on Vela.
Okay.
The book will be fully published on my Substack, and the book will be fully published on Ream. And all three of those places, people can purchase access to the story in its entirety. It's done. And then on January 26th, 24th, whichever one is that. That's Friday. It's a Friday. Let me look. January 26th. The book will go publicly live. It'll be on Kindle Unlimited. It'll be available in paperback, hardcover, everything. Nice. Audiobook, hopefully. We'll see if that production schedule allows. And go out the door on January 26th worldwide. So my subscribers can get early access, and then non-subscribers can buy the book.
Okay.
At that point.
Well, I want us to do a live on the business of cereals.
It's been fun.
Yeah. But we are at 33 minutes past the hour, and we haven't even really talked about our topic.
Well, that's my goal for the rest of the December.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like to wrap the year.
Yes.
It's like,
get
the production done so that in January I have a successful book launch. So I'm doing all the writing, editing, and the cover art's done, but we have to package it in all the different formats.
Yeah.
The audiobook still has to be initiated. Like all that stuff is going to consume the time. So this is a strategy for people that want to end the year being able to focus on a particular project. Like I'm doing here. I eliminated all other projects for the month of December. So I don't have new clients. I'm not doing new course launches. I'm not doing anything like that, so that I can put all of this effort into one big project, knock it out, and have my time to breathe. Because if I was doing that plus all those things, December would be just like March, like stumbling around, and then one day it's Christmas,
Right. Yeah. So, awesome.
How about you?
Well, we have EBM next week, so that's one thing.
Right.
I have a couple of clients who are getting close to getting their books.
That's right.
Ready for publication in January, February, and March. So different things happening there. Very exciting.
Right.
And so I put together some questions, because when I kind of do my end of year early, because then I have the EBM folks that I, am helping. So I kind of do my end of year wrap and my getting ready for the next year thought process earlier than some, certainly not everyone, but some. And so I put together some ways for people to end their year strong. And then also to get not just a running start on 24, but to make sure they get the most out of 24. And so the first thing to make sure you get the most out of the rest of the year, how much of the year you are engaged in your business, are to ask yourself 3 quality questions. Because I like quality questions. They're better than crappy questions.
Also, yes. I'll take the quality, please.
Yes, take the quality for 200. I also like alliteration, so I put them together. So the first thing is what done. So as I go back and I look at what I wrote down, like what was I thinking a year ago? What had I committed to that I might have forgotten about? I don't know about you, but sometimes I write something down and I go, oh, I'm totally going to do this. And then if I don't go back and remind myself, if I don't post it somewhere, if I'm not reviewing it, I'll be like, oh, I totally meant to write that book, or I totally meant to do that course, or follow up with that person, or whatever that looks like. And if it's not right in front of me, or if I'm not bringing it back to in front of me, I will have forgotten about it. So I go back and I look at what was something that I was really intending on getting finished, what must get done before the end of the year. The second thing is, if I can't get it done before the end of the year, how close can I get? And when Karen asked me on September 11th whether I was going to turn in You Must Monetize Your Book by the 30th, I was like, oh yeah, totally
of September.
Like, oh
days.
yeah, totally getting that done. I'm sure you remember this, where I was like, yeah, I'm totally getting that done on time. And then I had to really like figure out what I was made of. Was I going to become the anthem of the plant and move things out of the way and say no to some things that I wanted, to say yes to the thing that I wanted longer term? And the answer was I had to really kind of clear the decks and focus and get that manuscript done. And I'm so glad that I did, because it's being formatted and it's basically off my plate and out of my mind right now, because it's December and it comes out in February. I'm not even thinking about it. But if it were on my books to write list over there and I walked past it every day and it wasn't done, it would bug me. If I hadn't finished it though, Lucas, what I would have done is see how close I could have gotten. I was able to finish it. But if I hadn't been able to finish it, I surely got closer than if I hadn't seen what was possible, right? Even if I had to move the date by a week, or I had to set a different publishing date, knowing that it's like, okay, well, I don't have that week. I don't have enough days to finish it. How close could I get to the finish line? So the second quality question is, how close can you get to completing the thing that's really important to you? Because it could set the stage for you to really wrap it up and finish it in 24. And so then the third question is kind of right in alignment. It's like, if you haven't finished something, why haven't you finished it? And that's not the question. The question is, what can I let go of or stop doing? And sometimes I will look at a list of things and go, this is what I absolutely want to do. And then later when I review the list, I'm like, do I really want to do that? So there's two different ways you can think about this question of, what do I need to let go of or stop doing? It's like, do I need to let go of wanting to achieve that goal because I don't really want it as much as I thought that I did, because I have more information or more insight, or I've really thought about what I really want long-term and this doesn't fit in? Or do I need to let go of or stop doing something in order to achieve that goal? So back to September, it's like, oh, I need to write a chapter every single day. I need to make sure that I am not, messing around, right? I'm really like focused in getting something done in order to make make this happen. And I don't regret giving up whatever it is I gave up, because it would have just been mind candy anyway. It would have been like the holiday baking championship or something, right? Which I really enjoy. But it doesn't really add to my life in any way other than just enjoyment, which I totally need. Right. We all need the brain candy. We all need the entertainment. It's why we write fiction. It's why we read fiction. It's why we watch television and movies and things like that, because we need
football Sunday.
And it's right. Sunday, right? That's why we watch football on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
The national championship game is on Saturday, like obviously, right? Go Dogs. For so many reasons. So anyway, so it's like, those are the three questions. What must get done before the end of the year?
Okay.
Or how close can I get? And what do I need to let go of or stop doing in either direction in other words, if I hadn't written Monetize and I was like, you know what, I just don't think I ever want to write that book. I thought I wanted to write it, but then when I got into it, I didn't want to write it. And so now I'm not going to write it. I'm just going to let go of it. I'm just going to let go of it. I'm never going to do it. Or I'm going to let go of doing something so that I can get that done. Right. And it's asking that question in that way. So the first thing is the quality questions. Any thoughts on the quality questions while I?
No, I love you put a little comment in there that I thought was really powerful. And I don't want people to miss it in the world of all the great things that you were saying, because you said, well, hey, look, even if you don't achieve this thing in December, in 23, you just primed the pump and you just set yourself up for success as soon as the new year starts. That's right. So, I think some sometimes we get caught up in like, well, I have to get this done by the 1st. And if you don't, and it's your deadline to set, and it's not hurting something else like a financial obligation or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, in some cases, you just gave yourself a head start on next year. In other cases, you know, that might not be what happens. So you have to be really careful about that. But it sure is cool to aim for that. If you don't have a deadline, like, you know, I have a publication date in January. I don't have much flexibility. It has to happen. But if that publication date was in March and I still had this really aggressive production schedule in December and I achieved it, I'd be leagues ahead of where I would be if I hadn't. And I would start the year strong. Right. So I think that's really cool.
The reason that I was laughing, why was I laughing? What did you just say?
There's a tail. Is that why you're laughing?
Tail. Yeah. No, I was laughing because you said, what was the thing you just made? Because I was making a note for something for us.
Was it about setting our own deadlines?
Oh, and so like, you're like, what if you don't achieve it? Like, and I was thinking, are you going to spontaneously combust? No, it's an artificial deadline. I mean, at the end of the day, like almost everything except for paying your taxes, right? Like everything is an artificial deadline. It has to be in by this date. Like today's the end of NaNoWriMo. So a lot of people said, I'm going to write a novel in the month of November. And for those who don't know, NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month.
Right.
Which happens to be in November. It actually started in July. If you read the history of it, it was actually something that started in July. Nevertheless, if you get to today and you're like, oh, I didn't write 50,000 words over the course of November. I didn't write 1,667 words every single day. It's like, oh, I'm a loser. I should just give up writing and like, you know, go get a job at a bakery. The answer to that is no, right? The answer is like, well, how many words did you write before you got off track or sick or, you know, whatever the reason is, like you can take those words and then add to them later. That's the first thing. You don't spontaneously combust. It's an arbitrary, artificial deadline. But sometimes those deadlines, this is the tail just going crazy.
It looks like it's your tail right now.
It's my tail. Yes. Yes.
Frappuccino is a cat. Just so everyone knows.
Frappuccino is my cat. Yes. Yes. Let's give her the spotlight just for a second.
Hey.
She's actually purring, but she looks like Cranky Cat or something. So there's the artificial deadline. And so you have to just really understand that it's an artificial deadline, but sometimes it's those deadlines, which when you have an editor scheduled or your graphic designer is waiting for something for you, or your proofreader is waiting for you, or your beta readers are waiting for you, or you have like all the other things like that helps with the accountability piece. But ultimately, it can set you up for next year without any, bad problem, right? It's like, oh, you didn't finish it, forget it, you're done, go back and get a real job. So then point number 2 behind quality questions is the middle piece, which is rest. And rest, I think, is underrated.
Absolutely.
I think sleep is a success strategy. I think time to think is really important. And when I don't get an answer to something, and so putting together our Empire Builders Mastermind kickoff next week, I really had to just give myself the space for the theme and the topic and the direction of the group to come to me. I had to think about it. I had to rest. And so it was on my list of things to do. Do the agenda, like every day. And I'm punting. I'm like, I'm not a punter, right? I'm not a kick the can down the road kind of a girl, right? So I'm like, what's happening? And then I just decided to let it rest and to let the answer come to me and to have time to think. And so I would just sit in my chair and think because it's too cold to go outside and sit in the front porch and think right now. The ship has sailed for that time of year. So you need rest time. You need time away from work. Although as an entrepreneur, it's never too far from my mind because I really love it. So I'm never like so far removed that I'm like, oh, it's not like I have a bakery. So when I leave the bakery, like I'm not baking anything. There's always something going on in my head, but I do have time when I'm just away doing something else, not working, or I'm away and not doing anything related to work. But there's always it's when the ideas come. Like the first week I might be tired, or the first 3 or 4 days I might be tired. But after that, I'm like, oh, where's my notebook? Because then the ideas just start to come, right? So that's really fun. So you have to add in that time And that's why I said, like, however much of December you're working, see how good you are, see how far you can take it. But have a time when you just go, and then I'm going to close the laptop. I'm going to shut the door to the office. I'm going to close up everything. And it's going to be about family and friends and quiet time. And apparently I have to watch Christmas Carol. So like, there's like all the things that are not work related at all that allow for what's going on in your mind to have some time to marinate and to bear fruit.
That's right.
Yep. And so I will be resting the last third of December and the first third of January. So I'm out for a good long time. And I know I'm ready to come back to work when I'm counting the days. I only have 5 more days. 5 more days and I can go back to work.
Right.
4 more days and then go back to work. Let me just check my email for a minute. Right. Like that's what I like get like a little kid. Like remember when we were going to go to first grade? And like for me, I had a little dress, and my mom had made me a little scarf to go with my dress. And I had my little Holly Hobby lunchbox. And most people don't know what Holly Hobby is. So you have to Google, go to YouTube, and you can see a little video of it or whatever. But I was really excited to go back to school, right? It's like, that's how I feel about work. Because I get really excited about going back to school, going back to work. And I even still call it like, it's like, I can't do that tomorrow because it's a school night, right? Like I still feel like I'm really privileged. And so I'm taking that rest. Are you resting, Lucas?
I am. It's one of the reasons I want the book written by the 15th is so that I don't feel the pressure. Like I'm okay with writing or working because I want to, not because I have to. Right.
Yeah.
So
same. Yeah.
Like maybe instead of doing 2,000 words a day, I'll write 500 or 1,000. Just get an hour in because that actually makes me feel better. When I was a trainer, I used to tell people, if you have this crazy urge to be active, don't fight it just because you are trying to not do anything, right? Like go stretch or go for a walk or do something because there's something therapeutic about like scratching that itch a little bit, but you have to do it in a healthy way. And so like, it wouldn't make any sense for me to go, all right, I got to have the book done by the 15th. And then I'm just going to write like a madman because I've got this other idea. Like you're going to burn yourself out.
Correct.
So I'm all about like regulating. You said something about when you try something like NaNoWriMo, right? Like you learn something about yourself in that time period. Maybe you didn't hit 50,000 words, or maybe you had a goal to write a book in 6 months and it took you 8. But you learned something over that time about the reality of you working in that expectation, working with that type of work, working with those things. And now you can like adjust so that it's a little bit like more natural for you. And I always feel like when it comes to the rest and rejuvenation part, I set some really firm boundaries, just like you do. And by the way, you actually helped me do this better because when I first entered the Empire Builders Masterclass, or Mastermind, sorry, I didn't have boundaries. It's like, we're doing everything right now. And it was because I was in this build
everything right now all the time.
Yeah, I had to just
sounds like a great idea until you can't think straight about anything.
And I would do it to the point of burnout and then just push through it because that's the way I was programmed.
You've been trained. You have, programmed is the better word.
Right. So it's
sleep deprivation training has trained you to
it's like cold weather training.
Deprivation training.
Yeah. It's like once you do cold water training, you're like, I don't ever want to do that again, but I know what to do if that ever happens. And it's like just this miserable experience, right? But like when you go through a holiday and you realize I just worked my whole freaking holiday, that's a miserable experience that you should learn from. And at least I can like, if I just have to write to feel better, or if I have to go for a run to like feel better, okay, but do it within like reason. Like don't go all in if you're that kind of person, because I am. So yes, I like to watch a lot of football and spend a lot of time hanging out with Tammy and the kids. I've stopped working at night. So those are the kinds of things that are
I'm
like,
scared of you.
I know, right? This is not, who is this person? So like, those are the things for the over the holidays that I like. I'm going to do gaming. I'm going to play my freaking games. It's like, I'm going to do things.
I know someone who's really excited about that.
like these are things that happen during the holidays that I don't normally have time to do. So I like to pick up a lot of hobbies that I don't get to do throughout the year. Yeah. And then of course, I'm going to spend some time thinking, like you said. I want to just take some time to like think about what does this next year look like? Because you talk about like kicking off your year with some clarity, putting together a plan, developing, laying the groundwork, being really intentional about what I want the next year to look like and what I'm going to obligate myself to. I'll take a lot of time during the break to kind of formulate that plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's number 3, right? Kick off your year by having clarity. So when you get to a point, right? We get to a point on the burnout side where you're like, I'm done. I can't do anymore. I literally can't do anymore. I can't force myself to do something else. Right. So that's on the one side, but on the other side of that is when you give yourself the time to rest regularly. Right. So when you, like, I have hobbies, I have the 3 F hobbies, right? Fiction, feng shui, and fitness, right? Those are my 3 hobbies that I work on every day. And French. So 4.
Is there a rule about how many F's we can add to this before we start breaking rules?
No, just so happens. So those are my non-work related things. Those are the things that kind of keep me, work-life balance is BS, but it's as close as I get. When you allow yourself that time. So we're now talking the end of the year break and think time. Also, when you're planning for the next year, make sure you put in think and break time daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, right? So have a period of time every day where you can just sit and think and rest. Have a period of time every weekend, every week where you're not working. Have a period of time, like Sundays are pretty sacrosanct for me. I don't like to work on Sundays at all. So it's like I at least know one day out of 7. Monthly, quarterly, and so on and so forth. But we're just specifically talking about this end of the year break, beginning of the year break. You will know when you're ready to start thinking about next year and come up with clarity when you have clarity. When the ideas start popping. It's like when I make homemade popcorn, I put oil in a pot and I turn it on high. Then I throw the popcorn in, and then I can go off and like get the bowl out, melt the popcorn, get the salt out, like do all those other things. It's like, what's happening in those 3 to 5 minutes that the pot has the popcorn and the oil in it? What's happening in those moments? Is it everything or nothing? It's everything, because I'm giving it the time. Now you want popcorn, don't you?
I am starving for popcorn now.
Yeah. Make mine with extra butter and some peanut M&Ms thrown in, and we are best friends for life, right? But all in that time everything is happening, but you have to give it the time. You can't make the popcorn pop faster. You have to give the time that it takes for the oil, the popcorn, and the heat, the environment to all come together. So your rest is going to allow you to, what you said, which is get your clarity. It's like, here's what I want in 2024. So like do a review, like what happened in 23. And for a lot of people, we're going to go into our new EBM meeting, and there were a lot of people coming back, and they are looking at their 23 and they're going, when I was facing 23, what I see as my review is not what happened.
Right. Yeah. I completely shifted.
Yeah. So you look back and you go, okay, what was my review? What did I learn? Right? What did I adjust? All the things. And so then you can look at 24 and say, okay, here's what I want to happen in 24 with all the information that you have, which is not the information you're going to have a year from today. You only have the information that you have. So you have clarity. This is with the information and intention that I have. This is what I want to have happen. And then you create a plan around it. And a plan is, what are the goals? What are the action steps? What are the things that you need to put in place?
Right.
Mindset, routine, habits, those sorts of things. And so you need those building blocks. But so you're going to finish the year strong and go, whew, I'm tired. Time for a break. You're going to take a rest. And then you're going to put together your plan so that when you cross the start line, when I was doing competitive running, my dad was my coach. And he would say, And until I was elite enough to stand at the front of the line with the other runners, which was really just the day I decided to do it. He's like, why wouldn't you go stand next to him? I'm going to say names people don't know. If you know, you know. Greta Weitz, Rod Dixon, Bill Rogers, Alberto Salazar, right? Those were my heroes.
So distance runners.
Elite distance runners. And so when I was running races with them, my dad would go to the front and stand on the side so you don't get trampled, because I was little. It was like, go stand and be in close proximity with those elite athletes, which no other sport can you do that.
Right.
Than running, right? Can't do that. So until I did that, he would always say, when you get to the start line of your race, you want to be at a full go. Because when you start from a stop, it's like starting your year without a plan. It's like going, oh, I'm going to celebrate the new year. I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to have a hangover. I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to take it easy the first couple of days of the year. Nothing wrong with that. Right. I'm not throwing shade or anything like that. I'm just saying it's the difference between starting your year. Like, I always like to have my New Year's Day with, rest, and I stay up late. Can never quite make it to midnight, though. It's like that ship has sailed, but I try. I really do try. I'm dressed at midnight, but I might be asleep on someone's couch, right?
You startle when everyone's yelling.
Yeah. Like,
New Year's.
Like, it's midnight. I'm like, okay, I'm awake. Here I am. But I like to run across the start line of every year at a full sprint. Like, I have my plan, I have my goals, I have my intentions. I know what's going to happen. I'm not working for another 10 days. Right. But I'm mentally ready to go. I'm prepped for the opportunities. And so that's how you end your year strong and crush your 24, is you just see how far you can take it. Give yourself a break, plan in your breaks, plan in your vacations, plan in your rest stops, and then get your ducks in a row, get yourself ready for the new year, and then go off to the races. And I think those three things are what will make all the difference. I'll be interested to hear.
Yeah, I love it. It sounds, people go, it's too simple. It's like, no, if you really do this, it takes a lot of work.
Yep.
Thought work to get all this laid out right, and then to do it right. It's been a process to try and get more balance in my professional life to get to that point. And it's just more clear now that I am balanced, to your point about not being in a constant state of burn. Ooh. Are you doing a public reveal?
Well, I have one more thing.
Guys, I'm just as surprised as you are.
What do I tell him?
I haven't even seen it yet. Well, I've seen, pictures.
So here is,
look at that.
This cool kid. And this is the paperback version. So, I learned something new from publishing all the time. And one of those things is that if you do a brand new hardcover in something, they don't rush it to you. You have to wait. Even when I ordered Amazon Prime, I was like, okay, make it live. So this is the I Am a Writer notebook. It is for all writers.
Are you saying that's live right now?
It's live right now. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Paperback and hardcover. They've been, it's been available for a few days, but it is creating your vision as a writer, your purpose as a writer, giving yourself an alter ego, setting goals, develop a writing habit. I've got trackers in here. Look at this. Look at that.
Look at this.
How cool is that? Right?
Okay. Oh, wait, you have it in hardcover and in paperback.
I do. Yep.
You just said that too.
That's okay.
Guys, I honestly didn't know this was happening.
Word count trackers. So I have writing trackers and word count trackers and places to write outlines for books, articles, poems, screenplays, all of the things. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because this particular copy is going to go missing, because I got it, I opened it, and Byron says, "Oh, that's mine. I'll take that. I'll be taking that." And he was like, I was like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, it's perfect for me. And so he's claimed it. And so I was able to get him to just loan it to me for the duration of this hour. But by next time we do a live, which is in 2 weeks, I don't know where it's going to be. It's probably going to have property of Byron on it. Like he's probably going to like put a little thing on it. I will never be able to see it again.
Well, I'm buying a copy today.
Really great. Oh, good. Thank you. It is really a great gift for all I wrote it for aspiring writers of all ages. So it's for the teenager that wants to write. It's for someone who is getting ready to retire and they want to write poems, screenplays, columns, blogs, fiction, nonfiction, everything. So thank you, Renee. Thank you.
So cool. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. I just got the link off of.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Off of.
And it's not super thick. It's not super thick. It's just over 100 pages. Just over 100 pages. Just thick enough so we could have something on the spine. I wanted it to feel really good and really accessible, because if you're an aspiring writer, anything that's too big feels too big. So my intention was to make it the right size at the right time, just in time for the holidays.
I love this, and I've been dying to see it in physical form, because we obviously talked a little bit about it before, but I didn't know it was live.
It's live, Lucas. It's live. It's live.
All right, so I'm hitting. Okay, so there's the link. If you guys can see the chat, check that out. Don't do that. Wait, did you just hit Byron's copy with the tea?
No, I almost spilled my tea on my whole desk, which would have been great.
That would have been fun.
But we will have links to all of the authors that we missed, or there are links. If you're watching this as a replay later, there are links to every single author that we mention.
All the authors.
And I'll just, while we're at it, I'll just do one more course pricing strategies by Lucas Marino.
Thank you.
In case you are putting a course together by the end of the year, which a lot of people are all like, oh my gosh, I need to get my course done before the end of the year. Well, you need to monetize your book with a course. So you need that book. And then you need the course pricing strategies book. And you might need the notebook. Yeah, we're just having a good time. What a great year.
It really was.
What a great year. Yeah.
And we're gonna I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's because we have one more live in 2 weeks. Yeah. We'll be out next week.
Yep, we're out next week. We'll be back the week after that. And if you guys are subscribed to the podcast, get ready, because we are getting ready to drop a ton of episodes on you guys. In case you want to binge during the holiday, there's going to be plenty of binge-worthy content on there. Those are not the live sessions.
Keto. They're keto. They are non-fat. They're keto.
Yeah.
You can have them all, Renee. They go in our plan. They are healthy. They're motivating and inspiring. We're a little fun. Just saying. Yeah. It's a good time.
They're in addition to the live session. So they're not the live live streams. They're pre-recorded podcast episodes. So guys, check them out. And we're really excited to kind of finish up 23. So the next time we talk will be 2 weeks from now. And that will be December 14th.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys on December 14th.
Yeah.
Should we announce our time shift?
Oh yeah. And for next year?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll be moving the live streams an hour earlier. So we're
starting
usually
1:11 when we'll have a special guest, which we will announce later.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about that in the live on the 14th.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, all right, guys. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the things. Go check out the podcast. Go visit empirebuildersmasterclass.com. There may be a holiday sale in there that we're not like talking a whole lot about right now.
That's right.
Just saying. Get in there for the Author Success Bundle. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Wayne, Renee, Jen, Karen. Where are you, Karen? Okay. Bye, everybody.
Karen.
Have a great couple of weeks. Karen, where are you?